Hello, everybody, and welcome
Were
back
those cut
to
early?
the
My bad. It seemed like that was very abrupt.
What was?
I thought the intro
the
was longer. I thought I had more time. I was
no,
I was about to take a sip of my water. I had to hurry up and put it down.
no, we're live. We are live. um, but welcome back. To the chatter after everybody. I hope everyone had a nice holiday and New Year. Today we're gonna be talking about Echo. Echo came out last week. We watched all it was 5 episodes, right? 5 episodes.
Yes.
So we're gonna be chatting about that. So if you haven't seen Echo and you don't want to be spoiled, definitely recommend first of all liking the video and then saving this to your watch later and come back to it so you can hear some of our thoughts and some things we had to say. Maybe you will have some similar opinions. But yeah, before we get into that though, Joelle, how have things been? How was your holiday and your new year, the start to the new year?
So far, so good. I mean, I've had a cold for most of my New Year, but aside from that, I've been pretty good. So far, so good. I got to watch some Echo. I was very excited to start that, so I finished that like within 2 days. It was pretty quick. It was very fast to get through that.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, here we are.
Yeah, awesome. I hope you feel better. It seems like
I
a lot of
do
people
feel
around me are getting sick, so I feel like I'll probably get sick after everybody else has gotten sick.
Yeah,
That's usually how it works.
It's going around. It's a pain in the ass.
That's usually how it works. But Didge, how have things been for you? How was the start to your new year?
It's not too bad. I'm not sick, luckily. Hopefully I do not catch it. Joel, I do hope you get better.
I will transfer it to you over soon.
No, get him out of here.
Let's not.
Continue.
Quarantined.
You were probably too far from me, but Jamie, I'll find you.
There you go. In lieu of the sickness, though, I am freezing. That's how I am doing. It is very cold here in Wisconsin, and it's not going to get any warmer. So that's my New Year so far.
Yeah, they told me that January and February are the worst in New York, and I'm starting to see it. It's the beginnings of
frigidness.
Yeah. Frigidness. Trayvon, how's the start to New Year been?
The start of the year has been pretty good, I feel like. Just been chilling and enjoying, the time off, and then another day off today. That was nice. And then and back to work. At least it's 4 days this week, so I'll take that. I'm excited to talk about this show. I really enjoyed it.
Same.
That's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, same here. I don't know if anybody else is of this opinion. Probably not. Hater prime here. But I feel like going into Echo, I wasn't really that excited. Not saying like I was definitely gonna watch it, but it wasn't gonna be like, I'm really excited to see like this character come back or anything. Because I feel like watching Hawkeye. I don't know. I just didn't really have that big of a connection with her. I definitely thought some elements to her story were interesting, but outside of that. I guess Hawkeye really did steal the show for me with that one. Like everybody else, like even Kate, like I enjoyed Kate, but I was really seeing like Clint kind of come into his own a little bit and stand apart from the Avengers that I really enjoyed. But was anybody else kind of like, I guess neutral coming into this show or not?
Yeah, it was just it's a Marvel. Like it was like, okay, she's getting her own show, cool. What is it going to be? Like we've seen her. Like how much more are we going to learn about her? I mean, they did add some twists in this show that I did not expect we were going to get. But I just wasn't like, yes, I can't wait for more. Echo. But once they said like once they put that like news moniker on it, they say it's like R-rated and then when they put when they say they're gonna put it on Hulu at the same time, I was like, "Oh, this might be a little bit more violent than I'm looking for." So, and then we got the trailer. I was like, "Oh shit, okay, let's go."
Yeah.
So yeah.
Actually, I was excited to see it. I to this day still not a huge fan of Hawkeye. It was okay. I think a lot of people I said it was okay.
I didn't say anything.
Let's get it started, Hater D.
Hater D.
I think a lot of people hold it in higher regard than I do. But I also like seeing. I do like seeing just hand to hand fighting, like just the actual. So like seeing her come onto that show and like that was her whole MO. I was like, oh, okay, I would like to see more of that. And then I found out she was from Wisconsin. I'm not gonna lie, that amped up a lot of my excitement for her. Because I was like, look, see another Wisconsinite on the big screen. Let's go. So I was excited to see it, and I'm glad it lived up to what I can't say high expectations because I didn't really know what it was going to be,
right? Yeah.
But it did live up to the excitement that I wanted it to be.
Okay,
awesome, cool.
Yeah, I was just excited to have another Marvel property. Just like always for the next Marvel property.
Yeah,
it's not like I've ever been a big Echo person. I literally, when I first heard about Echo, she was Ronin, in the Avengers, and that was many years ago. She's the original Ronin, before Hawkeye was Ronin in the comics. But I liked her role in the Hawkeye. I thought it was really good. I know what she can be or what she's supposed to be, so I'm very curious. I was curious what they were going to do with her, because obviously from the trailer they were going in a very different direction. They were going to lean heavy into her background and. And there's even some mysticism, and I'm like, oh, we'll see. All right, so I'm looking forward to seeing. I was looking forward to that, but overall like she's okay. I mean, I look forward to seeing a deaf Native American, disabled person do something. Like she's a badass. At the very least, she's a badass.
Yeah, kind of speaking to the mysticism that you mentioned. I kind of want to talk about that opening in episode 1, where I was at first like, did I pull up the wrong show?
Same.
What
Absolutely
is
same.
happening? It was so bizarre. I would describe it bizarre. It started to come together as you like continue watching, and you see like these were, I guess, like the first generation of their ancestors, like the originators,
right?
And then they evolve as you go on. I don't know why we started with like I don't even know how to describe.
It just threw us right
the
in
way that they were.
I was like, huh.
But yeah, that was a very interesting start. And then to get into like the Echo stuff, I was almost like, wait a minute, what? I want to know more about that. What was going on with that whole scene there? And I kind of wish they dig a little bit more into like the ancestors. Like we see little flashes here and there throughout each episode of like different ancestors within Maya's line, but I would really love to know more about that beginning portion. But Trayvon, I heard you felt like some of the same ways. I would love to hear some of your thoughts about, I guess, like those first few episodes, but definitely about that section.
Yeah, it was very, it came out of nowhere. I was like, is she related to Kaori? Like from What If? Like that's what I thought that's where it was going. Honestly, I was like, so is she like a descendant of that, and she'll get the same, like, how my mind goes. I love powers, so I was like, oh my god, she about to like, I was like, well, that's cool, what's happening? And I was like, okay, this is not the same thing. Okay, she jumped from some pool of something and nobody else got to drink it. And I was like, so what does that mean for the rest of the clan? I was like, what happened? So, and then when they got out of there and then the cave crashed, it was just very weird, a very weird start to this show. I was like, what, how does this connect at all to this?
Yeah,
it was.
I wonder if it's like something that's a part of like maybe that tribe's ancestry or something, or that's how it's maybe like depicted or drawn, but I have no idea.
Go
ahead, dude.
No, I was just gonna say, Jamie and I, we watched it on Discord together, and like she said, when it happened, we were kind of all like, because Mike was watching it with us too, we were kind of all like, what are we watching? I could have sworn we were supposed to be watching Echo. But I kind of, as the series went on, I liked how it would do you sort of see two stories at once, where it was the flashbacks, and then you see the present day, and then you'll see how it all came to a head together at the end. I really like the way that they did that. I know you were saying that you kind of hoped they would dive deeper into it.
Yeah.
But I think it was really there just to sort of explain where she, like, to get us to the end. And I think they did that really well.
I agree. Yeah, I definitely think that some of there's like a good chunk of time in episode 1 where they do a lot of kind of like retelling of at least where Maya was involved with the like Hawkeye's show, and like seeing a lot of scenes that we have already seen or maybe like a different perspective. And I'm conflicted on that a little bit. How do you guys feel about kind of like the retelling of those events from Hawkeye? Did you kind of appreciate it because maybe it was a bit of a refresher, or were you kind of like, why are we kind of seeing this again, or maybe a mix of both?
Like I said, I've seen everything. I'm gonna watch everything, so I understood for people that probably didn't, or people that are watching on Hulu and never been on Disney Plus. Like, I was like,
that'd be crazy if there's somebody who's just like just happened to come across this on Hulu, doesn't know it's tied to any Disney Plus show.
They might, you never know. They're like, oh, Native American hero.
Yeah, they have.
Why not?
What is the other Native American show on Hulu? It's like Reservoir Dogs. Is that
Reservation Dogs?
Reservation Dogs. Yeah,
but wasn't
it's great.
It actually started. It's pretty good.
The Predator, wasn't the Predator?
Yeah, Predator.
Right.
The newest Predator.
Yeah, she was Native American too. Yeah, so it just I was like, oh,
it's Prey. We gonna give
okay.
Amber her. No, we giving her.
You know how I named
Mid Thunder.
You know how I named stuff. Young Predator, whatever.
Not too
much.
Not too much.
but yeah, it was. But yeah, I was just like, okay, it makes sense for them to do this. Did I need it? No. But did it like take away? It didn't take up too much time to me.
That's all.
I was like, cool. It was good. They sprinkled it in. They gave us what like the main plot points. They're like they didn't. I feel like they didn't drag it on too long. They're like, here, boom, 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 boom.
I still do kind of think that they dragged it a little. I don't know if that needed to be that entire episode. And granted, I know we got some new stuff. It was was
like
the first part.
Half
the
hour
first part,
almost.
yeah, it was probably like the first half hour. And that was give or take probably
after the crazy.
That was the longest episode too, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was
one of the longer ones.
But that was like 75% of the episode because of that.
Okay.
And I like you said, I do understand why they did it, but I think that's what makes that episode like purely the weakest of the season. Because, and I don't know if it is because I saw it. Like maybe it is I just feel bored because I've seen this already.
It hasn't been a while you've seen it though, because I know I ain't seen Hawkeye in a long time.
I ain't seen Hawkeye since it came out, so it for sure has been a while. But I don't know. It was just that. But again, I didn't necessarily hate any of the episodes anyway. So it was just one of the ones where it's like I didn't fully need this.
Yeah,
especially because they did in the trailer having Daredevil. And right when it happened, me and Mike was like, I bet that's probably the only Daredevil we see all season.
Yep. And I thought that was fine because it's not called Daredevil.
It's not. It's not. You were right.
I didn't expect to see him as fast as we did, to be honest.
Yeah. And I liked where it took place in the timeline too, because it's like, oh, it was in the past when she was younger, actually.
Right.
During the blip, right?
Yeah, apparently it was during the blip. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. I mean, I liked seeing the recap was fine, even though yes, I saw most of it. I've seen it a lot because I've seen these shows many times. But I didn't mind it because there are people that don't care to go back and watch those things. They're just here for Echo, I guess. And if they are, they have an idea. Maybe they want to go back now. Like, oh, I didn't know all that. Now I maybe might be interested to go see Hawkeye or whatever came before that. Right. I get it. There was definitely a life before this show, so you got to kind of keep everybody up. But again, you got to see some of the other history in there, like the whole thing with Daredevil. Like, I bet people that didn't know he was in it were kind of shocked. I know somebody that watched it didn't even realize Daredevil was in it, mainly because he was drunk and he should have been paying attention. I'm like, you missed that whole scene. How you watched the whole?
Wow, I was gonna say, that was the whole scene where it was
like, how do you miss him? I was like, what? Good, at least 5 minutes of them fighting, but whatever.
Yeah.
Just thought about it. What? Just thought about if they do watch on Hulu. When the show is over, they can't recommend anything from Disney Plus. So it's like, you're like, just stop. Like, I can't recommend.
They might recommend download Disney Plus and watch this.
You want to know what happened?
When they like finally
merge, when they
together,
yeah.
Well, maybe they'll be able to redirect people to Disney Plus, but that'll still be weird to like. I don't know. I won't speak on it too much. But speaking of like kind of these character moments, especially with Daredevil, I know something that did really enjoy during our time watching were like the fight scenes, and definitely like some of those moments where you kind of get Echo's perspective, where everything's not necessarily quiet, but you're just like more so it's muffled, and you're kind of, I guess, more like, I guess, feeling the vibration or like how intense some things can be without actually like hearing what it is.
Heartbeat, like those scenes were so cool. I wish they would have had more of those.
Yeah,
like that first one.
They sprinkle it in here and there. Quiet. And you're like, oh fuck, the sound went away.
It was just so cool to wait, because it felt like no matter what the scene was, it felt like a little more heightened tension, because all you're hearing is, like you said, the heartbeat. And so because obviously she's putting all this effort out, it's beating fast. So it's like, not only are you having, all of this energy, but it just feels like so tense. So I really enjoyed that. And I like the way that they did it, where it would just fade into it and then fade out. It wasn't just always just, and then you hear nothing. It would sort of go into mode.
Mm-hmm. Which is cool. And they do something later on in the season where it's the complete opposite. Mm-hmm. So you can see like she's not affected because of the noise and everyone else is. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought you were gonna say something, Trayvon. Never mind.
Yeah, I definitely thought Trayvon leaned his head like he was about to have.
I thought about something, but no.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
I can't help but think about the fight between her and Daredevil, because it has to be very interesting. Like, she can't hear what he's doing, and he technically can't see fully. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I was like, how does the fight, like, as they're going like back and forth, whatever, like, how do you even hear him? It's just weird. It's just the thought. Like, I just like, how did that fight work out? And I wonder like the technicality of it all. I can't really see like behind the scenes on how they even choreograph that fight.
It's at the end of the month they're gonna do a symbol.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, see, if I remember correctly, I think, to be specific, I thought it was the 24th.
Very cool.
I wonder if that will be on Hulu too.
I wonder.
No, probably not.
Well, the merge is like, is it supposed to be coming like in a couple months? I think completely
soon, right?
So they've been doing it. It's already in beta, so I mean, it's there.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, the fight scenes are amazing. I thought it was really cool. I like how you saw that, she took her first life, with the guys with the two heartbeats, and then you only hear one. It was neat. I like how they did that.
That was a brutal death too.
It was.
Oh yeah.
I definitely wish they did more of that. But yeah, I also liked how, I guess, like, with seeing that origin story, also saw the way that she interacted with Kingpin, because Kingpin kind of became like her like pseudo father after he got her actual father killed. Right. And kind of seeing like what she went through to lead up to like the events in Hawkeye, I thought was really cool. Yeah. Because you really see like they had like a very deep connection that wasn't just like, oh, like my dad was like, you were my dad's boss, and now like I guess we'll just hang out because proximity or whatever. Like, we really see like he was taking care of her.
Well, like, they were close. It felt like they were close even before. Like, I don't think that was in the first episode, but the episode when she was the kid in front of the ice cream guy.
Right.
Obviously her dad died when she was older, so like her dad was still alive at that time, and clearly they were close enough where he's taking her out, picking her up from school or wherever.
Yeah.
So
it used to pick her up from karate too, or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So clearly they were super close, and like that scene was just the most interesting. And I know that was in the trailer, but just how bloody that was, and then her immediately coming up, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want you to think I'm a monster. I want you to think I'm scared." And she's like, "Oh, this guy. Good. No, we're good. Let's get into this." Like that. So, like you said, it was really cool to see just how close they were, and I think it made the story of the entire series even more interesting, because even the way how he was interacting to how the betrayal at the end of Hawkeye, like it, I truly do think at the end of the day, like when he was telling her, and I know we're jumping ahead when I say that, is that like we're kind of even now. I understand you. I don't think he was trying to pull the wool over her eye. I think he really was just like, no, I know the type of person who you are because I was that person.
I just felt like he was like, yeah, let's go home. Like we're good.
Yeah,
we're good. Let's go.
I for
you know what? I respect you for doing that.
But I felt like when she didn't go, he like I enjoy I enjoy petty stuff, but that was really like why do all of that to like just because she didn't want to go with you, like
because she would have nobody left. I think it was truly I think I really do think that from a misguided place he just truly always wanted her back, and his thought was you left me because you have all of these people still around you. You're starting to reconnect with your family and all of that. So once I take all of them away, now I am really all you have. You'll have no choice but to come back to me.
She still ain't gonna come back to us. We were.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Try to blow him up.
That's why it's misguided, because he's still, I think on some level, he did always see her as family.
Yeah.
And I think he just doesn't know how to interact with family. Like Kingpin is twisted.
Yeah.
And I think in his twisted mind, that's what family was. I mean, he killed his father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
and then gave her the hammer later. You're like,
right?
What?
Like I think he's just really that twisted, and he saw somebody who he thinks could be as twisted as he is, and in his mind should be as twisted as he is, and he was trying to stop at no other lengths but to bring her back to his side.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kingpin's always kind of had like a thing with family. I don't even really know that much from Kingpin, but just like watching like Spider-Verse, like clearly there's always like this hole in his heart where he feels like his family should be, and so he'll like try and fill it by any means necessary, even though he's like not going about it the right way. And it still continues with Echo, where you see like he's losing his connection with Maya, so he's literally trying to do like anything he can to get it back, and he like commissioned these like contacts where like she can see like hands signing what he's saying, which I actually thought was pretty sick.
Yeah, those are cool.
I don't.
It was cool, but I felt like it was interesting. My pitch, she was like, "You still didn't learn though."
Yes, and she says it. She's like, "You still haven't bothered to learn after all these years."
Yeah.
That's also
lazy
true.
Bastard. We got the interpreter killed. Like, what the fuck?
That part was crazy. We were talking about.
I don't know why she turned that corner, man.
She went willingly, like la la la.
I know. I'm like, where do you think you're going?
It was crazy because when at first we were like, man, I don't remember him having an interpreter in Hawkeye. So we were spending so much time trying to figure out where was she at during all of this, and then for that scene to happen, we're like, oh, okay,
there she
is. Okay, that now it all
her time is over. Yeah,
right.
But the fact that they used Bonnie later in the same position, I was like, now come on, that is triggering as hell for you to have her to be the interpreter.
The lady looking down like, see, you could have kept me alive.
I was like, you better get Bonnie out of there.
Man, you get shot. Oh my goodness. I kind of wish, speaking of Bonnie, I kind of wish we saw a bit more of her. Like, I was kind of thinking we were gonna see like more of the sisterhood that it seemed like they had like built when they were younger, and we do get like moments with her, but I was thinking she was gonna be more present. Like, I think even like Biscuits, I think was more present than Bonnie was.
Yeah, he was.
And she just completely blew Biscuits off.
But that's because Biscuits had like, I feel like the rest of episode 1 and like damn near all of episode 2, like her and Biscuits were close. They were like this.
See, he already saw her though too. Like,
right.
She was avoiding Bonnie most of that series.
Yeah.
So when they first see each other, they're like, "Oh fuck, I was avoiding you." Damn it.
She might have avoided Biscuits. Honestly, if she didn't show up.
Yeah, I think if Biscuits wouldn't have showed up, he wouldn't. They wouldn't have been.
She wasn't looking for anybody specifically.
Right.
Whoever could help was all she was going for. But Biscuits was there. Yeah. Exactly.
Poor Biscuits. She had him going through mess.
She did.
And he still isn't really mad about it. I'm like, damn, this guy, he doesn't know.
I guess it worked out for him at the end of the day. He got to use a monster truck on some cars. I know he was probably having him a grand old time.
Yeah.
Craziness. But we got to see Biscuits. I don't remember what the grandma's name is.
I have the cast list. Yeah, Chula.
Chula.
I liked her as well. She kind of reminded me of my own grandma, actually, interestingly enough. That was kind of funny. But I thought she was really interesting, especially in the way that she played into Maya's story with like the ancestors reaching out to them in like a time of need. I really like that connection being built, especially because she kind of was like the keeper of some of the like lore and like the reasons behind some of these flashes and like what these scenes actually meant. So I really liked her presence. I liked what was Tula's ex-husband?
Oh, Scully.
Oh yeah, Scully was funny. I like
Scully was great.
Scully was awesome.
The first scene that we saw him, he was like running not the first scene, but when Maya comes back into town and he's like running the shop and he's like talking to these white people that came into the town for the festival and he was like, "Look, do you hear that? Buy it, buy it, buy it." That was funny.
He was great. I liked him.
Oh, super cool. But I do like his like I guess skill for tinkering and kind of like helping Maya with the leg. And I wonder if we'll see him come back later because of that.
I hope so. I honestly I hope we see the whole family again. I thought all of them were great. Obviously Chula, like she was the one you were supposed to kind of not like from the beginning, just from like driving the family apart. But even then, I understood her reasoning.
Yeah,
it's just like, she went about it in a bad way. I think obviously the theme of this entire series was family on both sides. And so it was just I thought they played that up really well. And I was glad to see it.
I mean, her daughter basically bared a gangster into the family.
Yeah.
And that's how the bricks got cut. Like, that's how it all happened. So it was technically his fault. Like,
it was,
he brought it to the family.
But to blame Maya for it.
That's where it was like it went wrong. She pushed away her granddaughter too.
In the process, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they moved to New York, and that was the last time she saw her for years. And I get it. I understand being upset about it, but damn it.
Oh, come on, Tula.
Right.
Tula.
I thought whenever I think about her grandma, that was cool, her being mad and all that stuff. The first thing flashed in my head is her fighting at the end. That's just where I go. That was
interesting. The first thing I said when I saw that, I'm like, oh, just like Thor. Like
she did, yeah.
That's Shazam. Like, it's just very. I was like, huh. And for me, like when I saw like all the ancestors standing there, if you watch Charmed, that's what it made me think of, because they call on the ancestors a lot to help them with they got something to do. And then they had this like episode or two where they had like gypsies come in and they were literally calling the ancestors. It was very
I thought
like
of Avatar, that. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like she caught on the past lines. Like I know obviously but I don't know if you guys watched Legend of Korra, but at the end of the first one, all the past avatars showed up. That's all I pictured. I was like, oh, okay. She got the whole family.
That too.
And then
that becomes ahead. No, that's now the base. At least in the MCU, that's become the base of her abilities. She can echo her ancestors.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a really cool power, especially how she was able to extend it to her family. Like, she can literally pull off an army because she can fight, and they were just echoing her moves. Yeah. So it's like you got a whole army of people who you can just be like, look, we're all using my moves to fight.
Yeah.
I had no idea that's what the name was for either. I was like, "Oh, cool."
Well, it is in this because
when my mom said it, I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, that's her mother's one of the echoes too.
Yeah,
the mother can heal because there's like three or four primary ancestors, right? There's Chafa, who's the original. The one that's where she gets her strength from, because she was whatever the fuck they were in the beginning.
Yeah,
dirt people. Then there's the Lowak,
Tukla. Yeah, Lowak's the second one. That's the one who was playing the lacrosse.
The lacrosse game.
That game looks crazy.
Yeah, their version of lacrosse looks like rugby.
Agility.
It's like a strategy, I think it was.
Okay.
So she goes strategic. Then there's Tuklo. Tuklo is the Tuklo. She's the aiming, because she could shoot real well, like accuracy.
Okay.
And then there was her mother, which was Taloa, and she could heal. And so those are the 4 main ones we got to see, and they would show us before she would use it. Now they didn't really go all out and explaining exactly what they were doing. Like I got very confused with like Lowak and them because I was like, hers I did not understand at all, but the others I kind of understood. Like she held up the thing, so that was the strength and whatever. I'm like, okay, I get it. But that was if I had any real criticism, it's like they probably could have explained that a little better.
Yeah.
I get it though. I get it. Like I do like it was a different interpretation of her abilities in this show, and I like where they were coming from.
Now that makes more sense to me now, because I was wondering when she pushed the train thing. Yeah, I just thought it was like a luck thing, like it's just like she got like the overwhelming power of luck. I didn't think it was strength. I didn't think that's what that was.
That's why when the grandmother turned around and backslapped that one dude, he flew in the air.
Okay, so now that makes more sense to me.
So what is the original interpretation of Echo's powers, Joel?
She has similar abilities to Taskmaster. So Taskmaster can mimic your ability or skill, not powers. Like your whatever skill you can do, he can do it. And that's like it's almost like what she did in Black Widow. That version of Taskmaster basically did the same thing, except she did it with a recording and she would study it. Where in comic book Taskmaster, it's in his head. He can basically see what you do, memorize it, and do it. And she could basically do the same thing. So they kind of changed it a little bit for both of them. Yeah,
I get they do seem to not want to have people who have powers close together. Obviously, from what we've seen with Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
So it's interesting though, knowing that Taskmaster was already kind of changed.
Already
that they were
adjusted.
still like, let's still adjust it anyway.
It's too close.
It's still too close.
Yeah,
I do like the change though.
I do like the change.
I don't. It's not that. It's not that bad. I don't mind it at all. Because remember, the rumors were out earlier that she would get tattoos or whatever, and she does, but only with one, and it's in the hands, and that's it. As far as we know, if they had other ones, they didn't show them. They obviously cut that out of the show, and the only time you ever saw it was in the hands. So even though if everyone had their own marking, that would have been cool. But
I mean, is what it is. Yeah, I guess no. Lowak was the only one that really had tattoos. I was gonna say in the past, because when I keep forgetting the first one.
Chafa,
yeah. When because after she became were they clay? I guess at first
they were dirt.
I don't know.
Like they were mud.
But yeah, she just had clean skin. That's right.
Yeah, they turned human.
They had that tattoo that was going on.
They had.
That's cool.
And that's why what's her name? Lowak had the markings too for the Choctaw, right? Choctaw people. I think that's based on actual lore. Like there were real people that
I know they did work. I know they did work really close with the Choctaw Nation, so it wouldn't surprise me.
It had a special thanks at the end.
Yeah. I think that is based on actual. That's probably a real.
Even story. a lot of like the native costumes, like the traditional ones, they were bought from I think a Choctaw artist or like a artisan. So like they wanted to make sure that it was as true to their culture as they could, which is again really great.
That was some of the best parts of the whole show. It was like, diving into her her family and their background and living experience life in Oklahoma. That's pretty cool. That was really cool.
Yeah, we don't really get to hear about many of these heroes like ancestry unless it's I guess kind of a part of their like powers or overall
right.
Like I guess
like Miss Marvel and stuff.
I don't know. There's a little bit of I've been like reading about this because I've been like trying to write a video essay, and there's something called like Orientalism, which is kind of like looking at a culture from like an outward lens instead of like talking to somebody who's actually a part of it and actually understanding like the different intricacies of it. And I feel like the only characters that we really get like this kind of like a better understanding of their ancestry would probably be considered the more like exotic characters in Marvel, like Black Panther or like Echo and things like that.
I mean, it truly does feel like the minority characters, their powers all come from some type of family aspect of it. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah,
it is great to see all these different cultures highlighted, even if, like in the case of Wakanda, it's a fictionalized one, but it drew inspiration from so many African ones. Shang-Chi, even though theirs was a fictionalized culture. Obviously, it drew from a lot of Asian culture, so it's great to still see that.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And
But you're right. It
kinda
does feel like only the non-white ones get it.
Right, yeah. Like there are some characters where like Black Widow for a long time like knew nothing about her, and then like the movie finally came out. I was like, oh, okay, I feel like I'm finally understanding this character a little bit better. And some characters just do not get that luxury, unfortunately. So I'm glad that we're kind of starting to build some of these characters up, at least, or at least we're hopefully going to get to the point where we know a little bit about everybody. So that way, there's a lot of different fandoms, and I'm sure they would love to know more about these different heroes.
But also, it makes them feel more real lifelike.
Yeah.
Everybody obviously comes from a culture, so that's the easiest way to try to bring some realism into anything, is to just sort of showcase what their people are, or what their people do, what their people believe in, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. That thing is what I really liked about Kamala Khan's show as well. It was like, Muslim, Pakistani, they showed all of that. I enjoyed that too. I was like, this is really cool. I like seeing this. That's why I like the shows a lot too.
Yeah, you have to learn.
So they can expand a lot more.
Yeah. I like that. It is like a learning. It's like a lesson. Like, oh, look, I didn't know all this. And
there are people from all over that's what I enjoy too. It is. Oh, I have a comment here. I'm not quite sure how to fully pronounce her name. I'll just go RKO. They said not a fan. Keeping them mysterious can maintain and sometimes enhance the lore. So I'm kind of curious, like, what you mean by this, because we definitely mentioned a lot of different things. But I feel like, I don't know. I'm not saying like you have to say like this is where this person was born, this is their ancestry, like this is their blood type, like all this kind of stuff, like we don't have to know everything right from the jump, because then the story that you have to tell later is going to be you're just going to be relying on like current events, and if that event's not that fun, then you have nothing pretty much. But I feel like being able to like get to know these characters like Echo, for example, or like Black Panther and Shang-Chi, and really being able to like see them reconnect, at least for me, I don't know. Like I grew up in like a predominantly like white area, and I really liked like the people that I was able to live around. But then there's always like a part of me that's like, I'm not super connected with people in the Black community. So I always feel like, I guess, othered in a way. So when I became older, that's something that was always felt like really important to me, is making sure that like, I'm like trying to seek out Black creators, get to know more about like what's going on in like the, as it's like, what's going on with the Black community as far as like topics we're talking about, and really being able to understand, I guess, at a greater level. And at least for me, I find it to be really important, because you're able to like connect with people more, or connect with these characters more, and really understand where they're coming from. And that makes me care about the story more than like Joe Schmo walk down the street, he's got super strength. I'm like, okay, but who is he? Why do I care?
That's what it came down to. That's what made me like Echo more. Like everybody, I don't know how excited everyone was going into Echo. So because they're like, she was fine in Hawkeye, but did you need to see her again? Like that's the thing. And I thought it did a good job of making me care. Like, I like her now. You know what I mean? Like, would I like to see her again? Sure. Does it end in a point where I feel like we're going to see her again? I don't know, because it was kind of weird. But I do like. I wouldn't mind seeing her again. I think she is cool, and they made me care about her more. And she is a badass, and they made her look even more like a badass. So I'm like, I'm down. Like, I'm down to see more Echo.
I agree
for sure.
I think it's cool to see. We had Black Panther. We got to see his. The culture of all of it. You saw how big of a movement that was for Black people when that happened. When the movie came out.
You had real Africans saying like, I'm not from this country anymore. I'm from a continent.
It's very cool to see that. Like, to have the Shang-Chi like big movie, to have Miss Marvel, to, like these different cultures we're seeing throughout these shows. I think it's very cool. I feel that probably feels good to those people that relate more than we do. So to see that, like I don't know, I enjoy the fleshing out in these shows. I don't know. I think it's cool they do that. I hope they keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. Also, just like learning about other cultures.
Yeah.
So there's also that, and having the people of that culture tell stories from that culture.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like in what scenario would I not want to know as much? I'm not sure.
I mean, some people get mad, like, you know, you think about characters like the Joker. Some people are like, I don't want to know his backstory.
I kind of agree there.
I was going to say, so that's one where it's I probably don't care to know more because I think it's more because what the problem is, and it's one of the issues I had with the Joker movie, is a character like that. You're trying to almost make them like sympathetic. Yeah, you're trying to humanize and trying to make them sympathetic for the reason of why they did this. And sometimes it is really fun to just be like, and I think that could be to what RKO is sort of alluding to when they say keeping them mysterious sort of enhances the allure of. It's just really fun to think that this is just an unhinged person.
Yeah.
And they just want to cause chaos for the sake of causing chaos.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll see what they do with Doom. Maybe Doom will be like that. Another character.
We know so much about Doom already.
Yeah.
I mean, some people might not, though. They might think he's just
I know, I'm 100% sure that they don't, but they're going to eventually explain it to us.
Yeah.
And we'll have the same issue again. Like, I don't want to know that much about the Latvian king of whatever.
I mean, a lot of stuff that I see that I've seen Doom. I said, but Doom. Wow, Doom.
At first, I thought you said Dune.
I know. I had to stop. But like all the cartoons I've seen, I don't remember them very like breaking down Latveria or anything like that. You hear Latveria maybe once or twice, but they never like go into it. I don't ever see his childhood, like none of that stuff. I've never seen any of that for Doom. I would hope. I hope they won't do that. I don't know. Like I don't know. Maybe that'd be interesting to see too. I don't know. For me, I'm here for all the content, but I get why some stuff you don't want them to break down. But these characters we've gotten, I feel like we're necessary.
Yeah. I feel like if it's somebody like the Joker or someone that's just like really unhinged or like I guess by societal standards, they're just like not well. I can kind of see like maybe wanting to keep the mysteriousness there because like then explaining it, you sympathize with them. You're like, oh, I could totally see how you would get to that point. Maybe it does take away from the mystery, so I can see that.
I was absolutely in that movie, so yeah, I was like, yeah,
and that's and like I said, the movie itself was fine, but it was one of those things of obviously it's not the Joker that we know at the end of it and stuff, so that. I guess that helps it a little bit,
it's
but
an Elseworld. That's why to me it's fine as it's a Joker offshoot. They call it Joker, but it's not our Joker, so I don't really. There's no Batman, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, but it's still one of those things of like, I don't want to know that the Joker had a tragic backstory. That's why he's so against the establishment. Like,
yeah. He was twisted, and that proved it.
Fair,
yeah. So it was interesting. I liked it because I did do the research before, and I watched The Comedian, and I watched Taxi Driver, and I was like, wow, it's crazy how much they took from those movies to make this movie. It's pretty close to exact on a lot of different things, but while we're talking about. Go ahead.
I was about to say, technically they gave us Kingpin's backstory a little bit too, like to
they
understand
did.
why
They went hard. It was all a mystery if you watch Daredevil. It was all like for the first couple episodes, and then eventually you get the whole backstory.
That him having to relive that at the end was crazy.
Yeah,
I was telling Jamie, I was like, she put this man in the genjutsu, and this man had to relive his past.
Yeah, he was like, "What did you do to me?" He ran. He's like, "I can't do this. I gotta leave."
Oh, that was
don't touch me again, please. Please.
That was wild. But I feel like to the point of RKO, like we did learn like this is what set Kingpin on this path. But after that, like you don't really learn, I guess, why he's stuck with the ways that he's stuck with. Because I could totally see, like, you're in a situation where like one of your parents is abusive to the other, and it's just like going and going, and you're fearing for like the abused parent's life. So in some way or shape or form, you end up killing the abuser. I could see you just like totally never killing anybody again, never wanting to touch any like weapons or anything like that. But instead it went the other route where he just became an increasingly more violent person. So it still has like that element of mystery, but you did learn a little bit of like how he got to where he was.
Yeah.
Still a twisted man though. That was wild. He was like, Maya, I give you the hammer now. Kill your father.
And he just stood there like, it's me. Kill me.
Yeah.
Like,
She had the opportunity and thought she did because she's like, I shot you. And he's like, apparently not. Like, well, you got me, but not all of them.
Bro, the fact that he still had an eye, I was like, how?
Whatever that thing he had on his eye was like, you saw the light. Was it healing him maybe or whatever it was?
Yeah. Now that you... I kind of made me think of like the thing from Guardians of the Galaxy, where they like put it on. I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, like the med pack thing, where I think didn't somebody get like decapitated or it was like really bad.
Yeah, whatever. He clearly has some technology.
There was some technology because you saw the scarring after.
Yeah.
But that's kind of all you got, and then she put the fucking healing thing on him.
Love again.
No,
I really do like the route that Vincent D'Onofrio went with this.
Yeah,
like I get when he said that he wanted to sort of increase the intrigue and like fear in Kingpin, because this man is twisted. Like even the final scene where matter of fact, even before that, where he's flipping out that she wasn't on the plane. Yeah. I was like, this man is scary. Like, this man is terrifying.
He drove all the way to the powwow. I'm like, everyone's dead.
Right. And then again in the final scene where he has the idea, like, okay, I'm gonna run for mayor. You can tell he's like, that's who I need to be, and like sort of letting the people gas him up, like listen to them talk about who's gonna run for mayor. It's like
he's found his new family.
Yeah, he found it, and it's terrifying to see what he's gonna do next.
I feel like the scariest part about that scene is like I didn't see it as like, oh, Kingpin's gonna be the villain of New York. I'm like, oh my god, this is how people get radicalized today. Literally listening to some of these freaking podcasts where they're saying all this toxic stuff. I'm like, this is exactly how it happens.
That's exactly what it is, and he's gonna. This is basically what's gonna happen.
Yeah. It's like somebody in a vulnerable place.
There are people that would definitely vote for this crazy son.
Yeah, and that's what he said. He said he wanted to play it that at the end he was supposed to be humbled, and the idea was, well, how do you respond to being humbled? And in his instance, his the way obviously we see with Kingpin, it's I need to elicit more fear. I need more power. I need more. And it's like, I know they said like the Marvels, whatever they're calling these Marvel Selects are supposed to be not enhancing the overall MCU story. Marvel Spotlight aren't supposed to enhance the overall MCU storyline. But I kind of feel like this did in a way of whatever Kingpin's going to do next is it going to be obviously a direct result of all of this.
Right. Yeah. And it is. It's we've already heard rumors of what's coming. It's like,
do you think this was written before those? Obviously, they revamped the Daredevil show, and a lot of those what we heard was coming was from the revamp.
Correct,
so, do you think?
I mean, I think that a lot of it. I mean, they've obviously changed certain things. I think obviously the whole mayor thing is still going to happen.
It seems like it has to.
They're not revamping the whole script. They're just changing. Like apparently the new writer created a new pilot and 2 new episodes.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, all right. So they're keeping a lot of the same episodes. They're just changing the way it starts and adding some extra. They're fleshing out certain things. And who knows where else the second part of that? Because obviously it's a 2-part series or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, it's 212.
His friends are coming back too, so I saw that too.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's leaning more, and we already know now that the Netflix series is part of the sacred timeline. Yes. That's a change that happened recently, and that was a big deal, at least for us, for me, because I got to add that to my time. I'm like, well, that's cool, and I'm like, where does it fit? I love it. It's all great.
Well, you got to figure, knowing that Daredevil was around for the blip, and he's obviously still doing stuff,
right?
So there's 5 extra years of stuff that, unless they're saying the Netflix series took place during that time, we have to account for somewhere.
They might do both.
They might do both. Yeah, they might go flashback to the blip at time and what happened at that point, and then jump. Because when we see him in She-Hulk, he says to her, like, "I'm Daredevil." Like, she doesn't know who he is, but the fact that he thinks of like people should know me at this point, right? He's been around a while, and he has been technically, right? Since,
I mean, I guess that is one way they can account to say, like, obviously, if retroactively bringing them in, there was nobody else around, and you're supposed to be in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is during the 5 years where everybody was gone.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty. And I saw someone on Twitter mention that he probably heard so many heartbeats stop at the same time.
I saw that tweet and I was like, that is terrifying.
That is cold. Like he heard
Holy
everybody
shit,
just. That's nuts. If you imagine,
I don't know if I want to see that scene though.
That scene would be sick though.
That scene is heartbreaking.
It might start that way.
It might.
And then, but then and it ends with everyone coming back. Like the beginning of the season is that way, and it ends the season with
his two friends dust. I wonder.
That would be interesting if they got dusted for those 5 years and then got brought back. And it has it's like trying to find them or whatever, not find them, but you know what I mean, like reconnecting with them.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's an interesting thought. Because who knows? Who knows? All those characters from that time period.
Yeah. Did Punisher blip? Was he still running around?
Well, we know he's coming. He's going to be in the series. So I wonder. He's like, damn, I've been gone for too long. Put the vest back on.
What the hell going on in this city?
He's like, this fat motherfucker's back.
He's gonna be like Stephen A.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. They have a lot to work with. They do. Have a lot to work with.
Do y'all think Echo's staying in Oklahoma or Maya's staying in Oklahoma? Or she's going back to New York at some point.
That's a good question. The way it ends, it feels like she could stay there.
Yeah.
But
she might see that he's running for mayor. She lost shit.
Right. So once she starts realizing shit's going down in New York, she's like, she'll show up at some point.
Yeah. Like, I gotta take care of this.
Yeah.
Back.
I guess
she'll bring biscuits along again.
Oh gosh.
Back into it.
Oh no.
Well, I think it was full. I think the whole point of that show is to be full circle, like showing how she hurt the bird and they heal the bird. I think that's the whole thing with Kingpin. It was supposed to like mimic that. Like that's why she didn't kill him. She tried to heal him because she's a different person now by the end of the episode. You know what I mean? So it's like I've grown. I'm not the person I was when I got to Oklahoma. I'm a better person now, and I do wonder if. I do think she'll show up again because, like, why even spend the time on Echo if you're not going to show her again? So hopefully we do see her, and it's with the street level characters because apparently they'll have more time. And I think that's probably why they said F it and said let the Netflix shows be canon. It's just they don't have to do as much back work. Like, if you want to do it, there's a whole bunch of back work. Go back and watch it. We'll just use what we want and go forward. You know what I mean? And
are all of them canon?
Yeah, they're all on the timeline now.
They said all of them, so that theoretically that would also mean they're probably all coming back.
That's what I mean. Based on that's how it makes sense to me. Even though look, there's a lot of double casting
coming back. Yeah,
a lot of double casting.
Unfortunately for one of them at least, but you
gotta stop hating.
Iron Fist and Jessica Jones.
I didn't even say Iron Fist, and y'all already knew what I was talking about.
Yeah, because we know where everybody is.
You told us.
I said it.
You
don't need to watch it.
Y'all gotta stop hating on Finn Jones.
It was good. Season 2 got a lot better.
It's not his fault.
I haven't heard that.
Trash.
Except from you.
You don't need to watch it.
I'm not gonna lie.
Well, Iron Fist season 1.
I've heard Iron Fist was not good.
It wasn't. But season 2 was good. My opinion.
How am I gonna watch season 2?
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't watch season 2 because I didn't like season 1 enough.
Season 1, it was not.
You could tell the fighting was rushed. You could tell.
It was the same guy that did Inhumans. That did Iron Fist. That you could tell. Very much so. You could tell.
That's not glowing.
No,
that's
it's not.
I enjoyed both seasons, but
I will be honest. I didn't watch season 2 because I didn't like season 1. And
season 2, bro. I'll say you this, Jamie. If you watch Iron Fist season 2 and Luke Cage season 2, leave you with the biggest boo balls at the end.
I did watch season 2 of Luke Cage. I didn't watch
so hard. Like
I was upset.
The biggest cliffhangers those two shows leave you.
I like season 1 of Luke Cage though. I like that.
I like the first half of season 1 of Luke Cage.
I like both seasons. Yes, the first half of season 1 is better.
That tracks.
Yeah, because that second half is like tricky. But I do like season 2. I do.
Yeah, I do like season 2.
I like Bushmaster probably more than most of the villains they use. It's a good character, good villain.
That's fair.
So I look forward to seeing them again. I like those characters a lot. And look, there's a chance that even if the ones that you didn't like, they have a chance to make them better. Yeah, make them better. You know,
I mean,
don't be cheap with it. You know.
Yeah, obviously, I think at this point the hope is that they'll be better, especially with now. It seems like they're gonna have a true street level. Just I don't want to say universe, stuff like that. Just get tired, but it's like they're gonna have a full street level division.
Yeah, I love it.
And I do with that hope that Echo does show back up, just because I like where we left her at. But I would love to see more of, like I said, not only just her, but just the whole family. For a show that I didn't know where we were going to go, they made me care, and I think that's the part that worked the most.
Yeah.
That's a good start to this is the beginning of reintroducing the street level characters. I mean, it's not a bad start. You know, I did like it, and I like the direction it might go. Mm-hmm. And look, the fact that you're going to introduce Spider-Man as a street level character, I'm like, that's like music to my ears. So, like, I look forward to seeing how they integrate all that together. And will it? That's the thing, because there's so many plot points that happen in the MCU that people lose track of because everyone thinks it's going. Everyone's thinking about Secret Wars, and you forget there's other little storylines that go on in the middle, and they try to skip to the end. And you can't do that because not everyone cares about. No one knows about the Secret Wars during the current timeline. I mean,
hence the name. I mean, no one should. Yeah. Everyone should know.
It's a secret war. Yeah, so no one's gonna know until they get popped in. But that's what I mean. There's so many different characters doing different things, and this is just gonna be another instance where the street level characters have their own war to deal with that are not going to include the Avengers and other characters. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you did freeze Trayvon. I thought you were just sitting like.
Oh that. Yeah.
Stop.
The frozen.
Wow. I thought you were just sitting like this. Looking. I was like, man, he's looking intense at whatever he is looking at.
Mm-hmm. Who thought he was? Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Well, he's not liking what I'm saying. I'm like, what I say? Wait a minute. He wouldn't even make eye contact.
Are there any closing thoughts on this before we close it out? About Echo season 1.
Echo.
Just excited to see her again.
Yeah, let's see her. Let's see what the next thing that she'll be in.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing whatever that is. I look forward to seeing what she's in next.
It's so funny. We keep saying about everything. I'm like, where's Shang-Chi? Where's
all
these people?
I know Shang-Chi again. I have less of an idea where I will see Echo again.
Maybe in Daredevil. Maybe they'll have their rematch.
More experienced Echo.
Right.
He'll be like, oh, you're not bad now? Oh, okay.
She's going to heal him. Like, I'm not hurt. I'm not a bad person.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for checking out the stream. Appreciate it. Make sure to drop.
If you're on the fence, you should watch it. I think that's the one thing we didn't say. We didn't give a definite. Look, you should watch it.
You should definitely check it out. You should definitely check it out.
Definitely recommend it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if like you didn't come out of Hawkeye thinking like, oh my god, I wonder what she's up to. Like, who is she? What is she about? Like, you should give it a try. You should definitely give it.
I actually love that part when you first see her again and she's on the run. She's all hurt and shit. I mean, that's all cool. Like every time she does like a stealth mission by herself.
We didn't even talk about the fight at the roller rink.
The roller rink. That's what I mean.
Crazy.
She turned up the amps and she's like, now it's flipped because that don't bother her.
That was so crazy.
That is true.
She had those ski walls going, just throwing them at
people. She was using every arcade machine in there. That was funny.
Yeah. She was like,
resourceful.
Give me the strength, bro.
It felt like almost like a video game fight where it's just like anything that's around you, just pick it up, just
everything and everything.
She made a gun out of like the
that was insane. I like how
she was MacGyvering everything. I loved it.
That was crazy. That was insane.
She's Marvel's MacGyver. I'm like, I dig it.
So yeah, no, like you said, definitely if you were on the fence, you should watch it. It was a great time.
It's good.
It was, especially if you like action and you're you kind of want to see something more mature from Marvel. This is definitely the one.
It is mature. Yeah, there's blood. It got bloody. It's killing. Just going in knowing that it's not for kids technically.
Right.
Right.
And they are fighting.
There's lots of fights.
Fighting with blood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A little bit of mysticism.
A little bit. Guns are present.
One guy had an RPG.
Yeah.
He was about to go crazy.
He was going
He
to.
was.
That wasn't even necessary. That was
I was like, oh my god. I was like, what y'all about to do?
That was definitely the person who was. Everybody's like, all right, this is the plan. This is the plan. He's like, no, I got it. Let's go. Like,
the whole time I was like, Kingpin for real? Like, this is what you about to do to these people? Damn.
It didn't even seem to fit. He had the people who were walking around. He had the people in the trucks. Dude had no reason to need the RPG. There was going to be friendly fire.
Imagine the dude fired the RPG, and then after all that, it all ends the same, and Kingpin's running for mayor, and they're like, what about all the Native Americans who killed at the powwow? Like, bro, he's getting canceled. I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't there.
He gonna distance himself from dude. I didn't tell him to have an RPG.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know that man.
Johnny was doing a lot. Johnny
they were extremists. Yeah. I don't know who the hell those people are.
Oh my gosh.
That's when Echo has a comeback. Sorry.
Yeah. Like, now this is the truth.
It turned out to be a firework instead.
Yeah.
All right. That was funny. What was the MC talking fast?
Yeah. Also, it's only 5 episodes, and I think they're like about 35, 40-ish minutes too.
You start early enough in like the evening, like you can watch that after work and get it done in a night.
Yeah,
true.
And they're good where you want to keep watching. Like they're like a lot of fun. It's like, oh yeah, let me see what happens next.
Yeah, literally the only reason it took us 2 days is because we started at like 9:00 on the day that it
came out. I saw the first 2 episodes, and the next day I watched the next 3, and it was over.
Yeah,
it was over. It was over.
Yeah, I started off the year well. There aren't too many Marvel projects this year, so I'm glad this one was good.
They're on a 3-project winning streak for me.
There you go. It's good. It's good. Good way to start the year, at least.
They're only on 2 for you, Trayvon. You did not like Loki.
Oh, that.
Or Secret Invasion, technically, right?
That's why it's only 3. Secret Invasion was a tie. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It's just there.
It. Yeah, I get it.
I'm just curious when Amelia Clark's come back. That's all I want to know. When she popping up again.
I'm also curious.
I gotta see what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah, I do too.
Wait, no. 4. I forgot about the Marvels.
Marvels and
it would be broken. Oh, the movie. Yeah.
The Marvels. Loki. What If?
Echo.
And then
What
Echo.
If?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, What
and
If?
Then the like I said,
Secret Invasion would be neutral.
Yeah, Secret Invasion is the tie.
And you had Guardians. Guardians was good.
5. You don't really lose on your losing streak with Guardian or with the tie. Yeah. So maybe it's 5, but
Yeah,
Guardians was phenomenal.
Yeah. Guardians was great.
I just watched it again yesterday. Oh my god! I bought the WandaVision, like the Steel book or whatever, the 4K.
Yeah,
it came in all dented and shit. I'm like,
you bought it from Amazon?
It's a steel, it's a steel book. You know how hard you gotta hit it.
I've been hearing that from Amazon though lately. Like people have been like, "Man, my Amazon stuff came in messed up," or like, and it's like
they'll be putting in those packages no more.
Show up messed up.
Yeah,
I ordered a Switch charger. Like the box is all far. I'm like, this charger better be fine on the inside. It was.
They be bullshit, and I'm so.
You said
mad.
It was?
Yeah, it was good.
That's good. But yeah,
they'll send you another one.
They will.
I have it ready for. They're gonna send me another.
They'll probably just let you keep it.
No, they said to send it over. I'm like, all right.
I was gonna say send it to me if so. I'll hammer it back out. Be in there.
Give me a second. Bro, I'm like, it's crazy. Then I'm like, what the fuck? How hard did you hit this thing?
Man,
they got like rolled up.
They see how they delivered it. They might have tossed it.
Right, that was when that UPS truck going crazy.
I fell on that thing. That's how hard it got hit. I was like, wow. Ouch.
Bad weather recently too.
Yeah. Shot put fell on it.
I'm like, you bring me my shit. I got till the 15th of February to drop it off. So we'll see how I feel.
Well, stay tuned, everybody. Will Joel return the box on time?
Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
But yeah, definitely for those that have seen Echo, if you watch this whole podcast and you haven't seen Echo, clearly you should watch Echo. But if you have seen Echo, leave us a comment about some of your favorite scenes and moments. Clearly here we're still remembering some of like the craziest that happened in this series. So definitely remind us of more things that y'all enjoyed And to close things out, we'll start with you, Trayvon. How can the people support you, and where should they go to do that?
You can find me at Nerd with the Tech if you want. Have fun.
If you want. Have fun.
What kind of
Trayvon gotta make
recommendation was that?
You gotta make a video
fun.
going to the Apple Store, trying out the headset. Nerd with the Tech. Come on, we gotta see an Apple Store vlog.
I'm very much waiting for them to open that up because I will be first to live. I was like, yep, give me a day.
I cannot wait.
If I'm not first in line, I'm gonna just wait a couple of weeks. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait in a big line. But Joel, where can the people go to support you?
Twitter, if you care. Joel_J27 on Twitter and Instagram. And I don't even know what my other thing is. TikTok or whatever. Whatever, don't worry about that one. The other two do it.
That's the bonus.
Yeah.
See if you can find them on TikTok.
I just got a TikTok. I don't even pay attention to it that often, but
Instagram,
I just watch that one.
There you go.
I don't even have that. I gotta probably work on that.
Threads?
Not even
is it
that.
the same?
Oh, you can just have to be the same.
Yeah,
but you have to activate your Threads account.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. I didn't do that either.
You can just activate it. It's not hard.
No, I was thinking about it. Twitter keeps pushing me.
Yeah, Twitter.
Twitter's the Wild West.
Yeah. Didge, where can the people go to support you?
You can find me at Didge_DEE everywhere. Find the podcast at Geekset Podcast. We are currently reconstructing our studio, so I don't know when our next episode will be.
Ooh.
It was cold this week and it snowed a lot last week, so that kind of threw our schedule off a little bit. Okay. Wow, it should have been done by now.
The weather is crazy down in Wisconsin.
Man, we were so prepared to like go after work and like go this weekend, and then it's just like it was crazy and nobody wanted to leave the house, and I was like, well, no, we all understand why nobody else wants to leave the house. So we'll be back at it throughout this week, and then this weekend hopefully we might just end up having to go remote just to get the episode out. But just find us at Geekset Podcast. A lot of stuff is popping over there.
Awesome. And I think I will be streaming after this. I'm doing the first demo disc of the year. I'm going to be trying out the Prince of Persia demo, actually. So I'm looking forward to that.
Fun.
And then I'll also see if I can slip in the Tekken 8 demo as well. Try that out. So yeah, for those that are watching me on Twitch, I'll be back in like a moment. Just stick around. And I appreciate everybody for coming through to the podcast. Make sure to support the channel, all that good stuff. And until next time, keep watching movies and TV.
Yeah.
Later.
See ya.